Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to day number 2 of Black Twitch League Season 15. Today on the Rift, we have Elysium Terra versus the BBC. I am joined here today by the wonderful Chicken the Wing, otherwise known as Caleb.
Yeah.
And we have some fresh faces in the BTL this season. I don't think I know a lot of these players, and these two teams are new orgs in the Black Twitch community. What are your
I don't know
thoughts?
any of them, to be honest. Let's see what they got, huh?
Yeah, I am excited to see what they're going to be popping out for us. We do have first ban coming in. It's going to be a Graves ban for the side of Elysium Terra. Boom, boom. So what do you want to see this game? You want action? You want split push? What are you looking for? What are you most excited to see?
I want to see people playing what they're comfortable with. I want to see what these guys truly got, you know? Let's see nothing too crazy.
We do have a Kinnan ban coming out from the side of BBC, which will be hopefully answered with a Kindred ban. So ET is more focused on getting that jungle priority. They do have the first pick. Things like Jarvan are going to be available, so getting rid of two of Jarvan's worst matchups. And we have a Kai'Sa coming out for BBC, another very good and blind pickable AD carry, trying to take away those power picks on the blue side. So we do have some high elo players this game. We do have Simu, who is, I believe, considered a Masters player for this tournament. We have a lot of Diamonds and high Emerald players as well. So where do you want?
Yeah.
What I know you said you want them to be comfortable, but us not knowing their champion pools, what are some picks that you like to see high elo players play?
Oh, you know, just like the classics, you know, put them on a J4, put them on like a Caitlyn, maybe like a static Shiv Kai'Sa, despite the freak being the freak he is.
We do have Xayah ban coming in for ET, so they're answering that Kai'Sa ban with an AD carry ban of their own, and Leona is to be the final ban for the side of BBC. So a lot of focus is being put onto the jungle and to the bot lanes. So that might be a point of contention for both teams, with those pools starting to get slimmer and slimmer. We do have Bel'Veth hovered for the very first pick, and it's going to be Bel'Veth locked in. An interesting champion to blind pick, especially with champions like Jarvan and Viego being open. But I have seen a lot of Bel'Veths pop off, and it can get kind of crazy with that champion.
I've also seen a lot of Bel'Veths fall flat.
Are you predicting that for this game?
Arguably more than I have seen them pop off.
We do have the Karma hover coming in from the BBC, so that's going to be something that you can pair with Ezreal or Caitlyn, like any far range, long range AD carry. Helps the poke game a lot. Gets control of that bottom lane very easily.
Also provides a lot of value for later game fights.
And if the teams are down to do it, it does also a perfectly good three-way flex between top, mid, and support. We do have Lilia coming in to match the Bel'Veth here. So Lilia, once again, another really reliable champion, very fast, very hard to stay on top of. Bel'Veth might struggle a little bit here to hit the crucial knockups that you need to start getting that champion rolling and getting her DPS out and about. Lilia, on the other hand, just kind of has to like prance around, put some people to sleep. I would say that the difficulty of the champion is a lot more in favor of the Lilia versus Bel'Veth. We do have Maokai coming out for the top lane in Elysium Terra's comp. Another very reliable champion, very easy to pull off, and his engages and disengages very powerful with that ultimate.
I think it's a Maokai jungle with a lane Bel'Veth.
I would be
That'd
very
be pretty
surprised. That would be a very surprising one, nor do I think that's better for the Lilia matchup. I think, honestly, Maokai might struggle a little bit more. We do have Ashe coming out for Elysium Terra, a super strong bot laner, especially with the likes of Kai'Sa being banned. Super hard to actually lane against that champion. The Karma is going to alleviate some of that pressure, but Ashe with her ultimate and with a Bel'Veth that can go very fast, gank very fast in lanes with her 4 dashes, could be spelling trouble out for BBC. BBC answers it with the Ezreal pick, so he's not going to win any DPS matchups against the Ashe, but his safety with the Karma is going to be extremely high, and it's going to be super hard to lock down that champion, even if you do hit the Enchanted Crystal Arrow on him. He always has that E to buffer. Yeah, he always has that E to buffer, so it's going to be super hard. We do have Gnar coming out, so it seems like BBC doesn't think that this Maokai is actually going top lane with that Gnar ban, so I'm kind of interested at what their game plan is here, or they think it's a Maokai support. We do have Azir coming out for Elysium Terra, a nice strong control mage, taking that away. I kind of want to see BBC go something like a Xerath here, match the poke, because it seems like very heavy. That's what their comp is looking to do, is just to poke out the enemies before the fights can start.
Unless if you get enough engage, then who cares about poke?
I think everyone cares about poke just a little bit. We do have Malphite banned,
no.
So they're really thinking that this Maokai is a support Maokai and not a top lane Maokai. What are your thoughts? Do you want to see a Maokai support?
I never want to see a Maokai support. Get that guy out of my lane.
We do have Camille coming in for ET, the ban on Camille, so I'm predicting maybe something like an Ornn, someone who doesn't really care about Maokai, if that is a Maokai top lane. Also, Ornn is a very safe top laner. It's very hard to even beat him in counter lane matchups. Let's see what they decide to do. That, or they can go for a flex pick. They actually decide to blind the Victor. So they're trying to give full counter over to this top laner. They want to know where this Maokai is going before they commit to anything. Or we could all be fooled and it's a Karma top lane. Dun dun dun.
Going back to the support top with Smite meta.
We do have Ahri coming here to match the Victor. That's not a great lane for Victor. Ahri's mobility makes it super hard to actually lock her down in the gravity fields. And her burst damage and wave clear is just as strong, if not stronger than Victor's, especially before he gets the empowered E.
It's most definitely stronger than Victor's, at least in the early game. I believe Ahri just has the strongest early game clear in the game right now. It's a little crazy.
Yeah, she is pretty disgusting. So ET has drafted themselves what looks like a very heavy poke comp, or not poke, sorry, a pick comp. They have the Ashe ultimate, they have the Ahri roaming potential, they have the Maokai ultimate to start fights or get flanks, and they're pairing it off with Rakan, a champion that can get very deep, very fast, and has the safety to jump back whenever he needs to, along with this charm. So they're definitely going for a pick heavy comp here, and they're looking to just pop somebody right before the fight even starts and just force a 4v5. On the other side, BBC has drafted themselves a very heavy poking comp, so if they can poke people out before they get picked, they do have a chance. But they did decide to go with the Scion, so Scion is a solid engage tool, can pair very well with the zoning control of Victor, Ezreal, and Lilia. So that is what we have locked in for game number 1 between Elysium Terra and BBC. So what are your thoughts on the draft, and what do you want to see each team doing to maximize the efficiency of their comp?
Well, I mean, you got the Scion over there making sure that they can't get onto the Ezreal. So I think just like have a big meatball there, make sure that you get their carries low before you get yours low, you know, on the side of BBC. And then you got ET over there who just wants to make sure that they don't get low before they can engage. So it's gonna be a battle of who can play their comp better. If ET finds their engages, finds their points of entries, then they're gonna have a good time. But if BBC can deny that, then they're gonna have a better time.
Who do you have in favor here? Who do you think's comp is easier to pull off their strengths?
I mean, definitely BBC's is easier to pull off.
You think even with the
But
Ash and the Recon, a lot of great poke potential or pick potential there, and it's really hard to avoid those abilities sometimes.
I mean, sure, but like realistically, is Ash going to be landing an ult on the Ezreal with a Scion standing right in front of him plus his E? Not really.
True.
I mean, is it gonna really matter if a Victor gets ulted by a an Ashe if like Scion or Karma's there to get him out just immediately after?
True.
There's a
True.
lot of peel on their side.
I do agree. I do agree. I am excited to see what they can pull off, though, just because all these champions are very high skill expression. They're very good. They're very fun to play. There are a few not so high skill expression champions like the Maokai, like the Scion. They're both kind of just big meat lugs that just walk around. But you do have the Bel'Veth, the Ahri, the Victor, the Lilia, and the Ashe, and Ezreal. All of those champions have very high ceilings, and when you put those on very confident players, the plays and that they can do are absolutely insane. It is going to be hard for Lilia to gank, though, just because Ashe is very good at spotting out enemy junglers. Whereas BBC doesn't really have that ability to do that, just because they don't have that kind of sight control that Ashe provides.
I think the only lane you're gonna really be wanting to gank here is the top lane anyways, because it's a pretty easy lane to just walk into and shut down the Maokai.
Yeah. Also, Maokai is very susceptible to Lilia damage because she is one of those champions that can go Demonic Embrace and Leondy's Torment if she decides to do that over the Rod of Ages build. So a lot of max HP damage going through. And he's just going to be burning and burning and burning. Hey, the Roa build's not bad, especially when you have this kind of. Especially if you're playing
pretty bad.
If you're playing into a pick comp, that extra health, that extra movement speed that you get from the Roa the passive, very, very useful. So don't flame it quite yet.
I'm not convinced.
All right, we're gonna.
All my sources tell me it's bad.
All right, we're going to swing it off to a break. We will see you guys on the Rift with game number 1 between Elysium Terra versus BBC.
Back from the dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're all invited to go fucking mental on this motherfucking drop. The countdown has just begun. Are you ready? Let's go, 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 go.
Now we're back from the dead. We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
All right. We are on the rift for game number 1 between Elysium Terra and the BBC.
We did have a little bit of a pause.
Yeah, we did have a small pause, but nothing to fret. Are you ready, Caleb?
I'm ready.
All right, in 3, 2, 1, 11, 12, 13.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are synced in. We are ready to go. And we already have some pings, a potential invade or a stack coming out for the BBC. Well, we do have the standard 5-point coming out from the Elysium Terra. All right, Caleb. What are you expecting from the start of the game? Who do you think is going to start winning lane? Who do you think is going to have the pressure for the jungle?
Well, I mean, in bot lane, Ezreal Karma definitely has the advantage in the early game. And Ari has the advantage in the early game in the mid. And I mean, top lane's just a big old meatball fest. That one's gonna go either way.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, that is seemingly the case here. We do have some wards coming out for Elysium Terra in the bot side jungle on BBC's side. So they are going to know where this Elysia starts. They're already dropping pings, watching them walk through. So there's going to be no surprises for Elysium Terra. They know exactly how this Elysia is pathing. They know exactly what she's doing. And Belveth's actually started an invade on the Raptors. She wasn't spotted there. So already off to a crazy start. Belveth is going to have a huge advantage over here. She's going for the red. If they don't spot this out, this could be absolutely detrimental for the Lilia.
Yeah, she's gonna have to do something on the map other than farm. Crazy, wish my junglers could do that.
So a key lifestyle, what you mean? Look at us, we got the wet noodle fight already starting. The punch is already going down. Notably, Scion does have Grasp of the Undying, so these little short trades that they're going to be doing are going to be a lot more favorable for him.
At least until level 3, Phase Rush is gonna be more beneficial in those. Once you're able to get that, if you just run in, press all your abilities, run out.
Yeah, Lilia has walked into her top side. She has noticed that Belveth has taken both of her camps. So now she's going to have to look for
She's
some
getting
potential
pranked
ganks.
right now, man.
So Belveth, oh, Lilia is walking into the Belveth jungle. Belveth's going to spot her on the ward. They do know that she's there. She's trying to get some redemption here on the camps. Scion, or sorry, Maokai and Ahri are starting to move. The Belveth flashes forward, hits the knockup. Lilia's trying to get out, but she's not going to be able to escape from the twisted
There
bind
it is.
of Maokai. So first blood going over to Belveth, exactly who you want that on, especially a carries hype jungler like that. Super dangerous.
You gotta be tilted after that one. Lose not only your jungle, but also your life. Yikes. I'm thinking she's gonna run straight into the bot lane jungle too. A bot side jungle. Die maybe again. It'd be unfortunate, but highly possible. A tilted mind thinks like no other.
We do have some nice little short trades happening in the mid lane. Ahri is making sure that that wave stays shoved in so that she can move wherever the Belveth needs her. They're really playing towards the jungle carry life. Won't be a thing next patch though, because Riot has decided to gut this role to the grounds.
It's actually just Freak. Don't blame Riot, blame Freak.
Was it Freak? Ah, of course.
It's always Freak.
He designed Static Shiv. He must be the mastermind behind this one.
They employed him. Actually, you're right. It is Riot's fault. They employed him. He has a job somehow.
Belveth is looking for an invade onto the bot side quadrant of the red side jungle. She did hit the blue plant, so they know that she's there, but no one can really stop her from taking more camps.
She was also spotted on those bot side wards there in the river. But if Lilia wanted to go into her jungle, now's the time.
Yeah, this is kind of looking a little bit dire for the Lilia. She's lost a lot of camps, and she's just constantly losing more. She is getting some camps in the topside jungle for repercussions, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to quite get her back to where she wants to be in terms of tempo.
Definitely not. If you look, Belveth's already at a 12-minute lead 5 minutes into the game. It is quite unfortunate. She is kind of living and breathing in the enemy jungle.
She has already backed and completed her Iron Spike Whip. Very powerful clearing tool. Makes her camp taking ability a lot faster. Ahri does go forward with her ultimate, hits the charm, and is actually going to connect the kill 1v1 onto the Victor.
Ooh.
And Victor had to use Flash there to try to get away, and it just didn't pan out for him. So that's going to be his Flash down, and Ahri's ultimate will be back up before that Flash can actually be used again. So he's going to be very susceptible to ganks. That, or he's going to have to sit under tower and just give full lane control over to this Ahri. Looks like we have...
Doing a little proxying in the top lane.
We do have some proxy coming out by the Scion. He's not really scared of the Belveth. He's just going to kind of be vibing with the farm. He did get a coal on an early back, so his gold is going to be going up really fast.
I think if BBC wants a jungle in this game, they're gonna have to start playing around their jungler.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to stop letting this Belveth just exist in their jungle for free. They're gonna have to actually apply some pressure, do something about it.
Yeah, they do. We do have
otherwise
pressure with the
it's
proxy,
gonna be. Yeah, but I mean, like, that's not really gonna get the Lilia back into the game because I mean, like, look where he's at. If the Belveth is in their jungle, what is he gonna do? He's way too far away.
Yeah, first dragon going over to Elysium Terra. Belveth has secured that with her massive jungle advantage, and we're probably going to be looking at a potential rift on Belveth. And once Belveth gets that rift, if she gets that transformation, but oh, we do have a little bit of a fight. Rakan goes forward with a W. It does get caught out by the Karma W. And this is just him going a little bit too deep. The Ezreal does flash forward, misses the Q. The Ignite does not complete the kill onto Rakan. Belveth is there, killing the Ezreal there. And now Ahri is ulted forward, misses the charm. And it's going to be a 1-for-0 in a play that almost looked very beneficial to BBC.
That was so unfortunate.
Yeah. That was just one more tick, and that would have been a dead Rakan. I don't think Ezreal should have flashed forward, but he was really desperate to get a kill and try to get the ball rolling in the favor of BBC. So back to what I was saying, now that Belveth is level 6, if she does get control of this rift, she's going to get her empowered ultimate form, which is going to allow her to start spawning a lot of little tiny minions, get a lot of pressure with pushing lanes, and if she can get a kill in the bot lane or top lane, that could easily be a tier 2 tower going down to Rift Tower Cluster herself. She is starting to fight on the Lilia. She's going really deep. She hits a double knockup, and this might be a little bit too deep for her. The Karma, she has to flash away from the Karma route. And we do have a fight. Victor is flanking on the bot side. I don't know why the camera's panning top, but Victor got caught a little bit deep here. He's getting slowed down by the Ashe over and over again, and that's going to be a kill going over to the Ashe. Belveth does get a transformation form to heal up a little bit. Oh, and Belveth is super low. Ezreal ease forward, does not connect the W or the Q, and that's going to be a 1-for-0 trade inside BBC's own jungle.
They can't keep getting away with this.
I think they can, and that's why they're doing it. They know the
1
weaknesses.
HP every time.
Yeah. Ahri is now invading the Lilia as well, so they're absolutely just keeping her out of her own jungle.
She's just getting bullied.
She's already down 6 camps based off the jungle items. Make that 7. Belveth just completed another one. She decided to opt for Swifties first to try to get a little bit more movement speed on this Belveth to hopefully get to her camps faster, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. This Belveth just seems to be able to read her like a mine. The charm does connect onto the Victor. And just a nice little push and shove in the mid lane.
And if I'm in this game and I'm on BBC, I'm saying FF go next, man. This is quite the situation they're in currently.
I don't think it's that detrimental quite yet, but it does have the potential to get really out of hand really fast if they don't start upping their game.
Yeah, they are getting there.
We got more noodle fighting happening topside. Both of the tanks are opting to get a Sunfire Escape first item. They already have 2 components completed, the Chain Vest and the Bambi Cinder. And just like I said, Belveth has started the Rift Herald, so once she gets that and gets a kill somewhere, that could easily be 2 towers going down to the push that she can provide.
Like, just press tab and look at the farm leads and just about in the jungle and bot lane over here.
Yeah, there is a 40 CS gap in the bot lane and a 30 CS, or actually, yeah, 30. Oh, Sion is getting dove here by the Maokai. The Maokai ulti does go down, and Belveth is using her E to complete the kill. Maokai is just super tanky and able to drop aggro so often with his abilities. Very well played there. This could be a Herald being dropped top. She does have the empowered mode. Victor might be dead here. The Ahri flashes forward with the ultimate and lands the charm to secure the kill on Victor. And this game is slowly but surely getting quite out of hands. It is already a 4K gold lead, almost a 5K. They're dropping the Herald top lane. And they are going to have to back away. They see the Lilia is coming. They have a very nice deep ward there. If you see that pink on the map, it's spotting Lilia's movements every single time.
As I was saying about the gold, the farm difference though, you should never ever be this far behind as an Ezreal, man. You have so much range. You just press Q on wave and then boom.
Well,
you're caught up.
You gotta remember he didn't move for the Lilia a few times and ended up dying there while his wave was under tower. So that is kind of not helping his CS gap that happens.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's definitely pressed Q more than 72 times this game, and he only has 72 farm. Math ain't mathing up right now.
Second Dragon has spawned. They're currently fighting over Vision in the bot side while we have the wet noodle fight of the century happening in the top. Dragon was started up. Ahri does ult forward and hits the charm on the Lilia. Lilia might be dead here to the Ahri ultimate, and she is. The Rakan flashes forward with the ultimate to CC the Karma, and the Karma is ticking down with Ignite. The double kill going over to the Ahri. The Ahri lands the charm onto the Victor, and that's going to be another kill going over to Belveth. This is absolutely disgusting right now. This Elysium Terra is absolutely playing phenomenal with what their comp is trying to do.
Oh yeah. We're getting closer to a 10k gold lead now.
Yeah, this is starting to bring back the glory days of Koi week 1. They also scored a perfect game. Can Elysium Terra get the perfect game as well? There's going to be a dive happening on this Ezreal. The Karma is there. They swatted out the Belveth, but I don't think that they can really stop this. The Rakan goes in, knocks up the Ezreal. The Belveth does follow up with her E. She is absolutely mowing down this enemy bot lane. They're just so squishy. Belveth is tanking. She does trade off the aggro for the Ashe. That's going to be a nice, clean double kill dive. Sion is going in onto the Ahri. The Ahri and the Maokai get slept, and that's going to be a double kill going over to the Victor. Very huge and very needed for the side of BBC. But they do lose
Yeah, but is it
tower.
enough? I think not.
They did lose first tower to the Belveth in the bot lane. So Victor did get some nice shutdowns, but like you said, I don't know if it is going to be enough to quite turn around this game quite yet. Sion has completed the Cole. Belveth is up here, though. Sion is in a little bit of a rough area. Belveth is going in onto the Sion. Can she hit the knockup? But Rakan hits the W and a double knockup to follow suit. That is going to be a dead Sion to the Belveth. That's 5 kills on the Belveth right now. She is, like the announcer said, very unstoppable.
Never falter.
Tier 2 going down. Ashe got there in time to get that local gold by the minions. And we have an 8k gold lead at 15 minutes. Along with 2 dragons. So those dragons add about, I would say, at least 1k of stats. So it's basically a 10k gold lead.
Yeah, it's looking like we're gonna get a fast one this time.
Ahri has spotted out the Victor. The charm does land, and he gets half health by the Ahri Q. She's going in with the Rakan. Do they complete the kill onto the Victor? The shield from the Karma does save the Victor. Oh, but the burn from Leondi's Torment does complete the kill. Rakan does die in response, along with the Ahri to the Lilia. So a little bit of aggressive there, but I kind of feel like they're just feeling themselves at this point.
That is not what you wanted to do. That's how you lose your lead, not increase it.
Oh, a nice double knockup by the Belveth. She is right on top of this Karma. The Karma break gets brought to 1/4 HP. Ashe is poking with her W. And they're going to have to give this tower. Ezreal cannot stop this by himself. True Shot Barrage goes out, hits the Maokai, but tickles him, basically. And this tower doesn't fall quite yet, but it is going to fall on the next wave if they keep pressuring here. Sion does pick up an objective bounty for his team, starting to slowly but surely close that gold gap.
Yeah, but if it's just on Sion may be an unstoppable force, but who cares?
Yeah. Ooh, Sion ultimate does get stopped by the Maokai. The charm does go wide, though. Will they continue the chase? Belveth is up here. She's cutting off the Sion. Sion flashes forward. The Belveth misses the W. And Sion is attempting to try to get something in return, but he just doesn't have the damage to deal with this comp. Maokai does drop the ultimate forward. Belveth takes her ultimate to get the powered form, goes onto the Victor. The Victor is in a little bit of a dangerous spot. He does get engaged by the Maokai, and Ashe does pick up that kill. That's going to be 2-0 in the top side skirmish. Not quite at a 10k gold lap yet, but they are starting up Rift Herald number 2. And this should be Elysium Terra getting the second Rift of the game. The only time I would say second Rift is ever worse, if you do have to contest for it, is when you have a Belveth. Because that champion with that empowered ultimate form can get quite disgusting.
But it's extra worth if you don't have to contest it.
Yes, of course, but...
I don't think there is much that BBC can do to get back into this game.
Yeah,
but if they did, what would it be, Frostbyte?
They gotta secure these shutdowns on Victor and Ezreal. If those two champions don't get the shutdown, they don't have the wave clear to deal with this kind of threat that Elysium Terra is popping out. But I don't think Elysium Terra is going to give them that opportunity, especially the Belveth. The Belveth, wants the perfect game. I can sense it.
Who doesn't want the perfect game?
Obviously Ari, because her plays have been quite aggressive, and that's why she has 2 deaths.
That's the phrasing you want to use there.
I don't know. I'm here for the play-by-play, all right? I don't come up with things on my own.
Interesting.
I am a robot in Riot's cog. Or a gear, I don't know. I see the problem here.
I would describe you as a brick wall crumbling before our very eyes. The more I speak, the more it lets loose and breaks free. Eventually, you will be there, my son.
Belveth is looking for an invade onto Lilia. She is alone. This could be a little bit dangerous. She is trying to go deep. She's trying to make a hero play, trying to 1v5, and is getting CC chained over and over again. The Rakan is here to save her. The Ashe arrow goes wide. The Victor ultimate gets dropped down. The True Shot Barrage connects. Sion is attempting to get somewhere. Oh, Lilia gets knocked up, going a little bit too far. The Belveth does get one with the Ahri.
Nah.
And that is going to be a dead Belveth to the Ezreal. The Ahri is super deep right now. She is trying to do as much as she can with her ultimate. The ultimate resets are getting insane. I swear to God, she's ulted like 50 times. And this is going to be a pentakill going over to the Ahri.
Second of the game.
That is.
If Vimstat didn't just say, nope, I'm getting first pentakill, then that would have been the first game of every single series. We're getting a pentakill, it would seem.
That is insane. That is pentakill number 2 for the BTL season 15. And right now we have a 100% pentakill rate in each series of games.
Yeah. Let's keep it up. Who's next? You guys gotta get a pentakill too. Otherwise, can we truly consider that you win or lose your game? Does it really count? I think not.
Notably, Ezreal did get a nice shutdown for himself, but they are now officially 10k behind. Baron is up. This is going to be a very tough fight, especially with how fed this Ahri is now. She's 11-2-3. And that champion, when she's ahead, can do so much, especially with the resets of the ultimates. Don't know who put that design in Riot Games' brain, but here we are.
A pentakill does help with getting a lead.
Ahri is committed to
Up
the
to
split push
11k
with
at
Rift.
this point.
Yeah, Ahri has committed to a split push here, so she won't be here at the fight, but she does have TP to get there quite fast. Victor's going to, a charm hits onto the Victor. That's just going to be a dead Victor. The damage from Ari is absolutely insane. You have to respect her. She also went Horizon Focus, so every time she hits that charm, that's 10% more damage just for existing.
BBC needs to make up their mind. Are they going to contest the Baron or stop their Nexus from being destroyed?
Oh, Baron just go over to the Belveth. If Elysium Terra can stop these backs from going off, this is going to be a game-ending push by the by the Ari. Lilia's gone over there to try to stop her, but I don't think Lilia is going to be enough. Sion does get ultimate by the Ashe. That's going to be a dead Sion to the Belveth. And it's now a 3v5, about to be a 4v5 when Victor spawns. And Ari has backed, but she has TP. She completed her death cap. And this could be a game-winning push right here.
Definitely will be a game-ending push. They got the wave, they got the Baron, they got the team advantage. I mean, like, what more could you want to end the game here?
They also have the Belveth minions, so it's like you're killing 3 waves every time. Ari does hit the charm onto the Karma. The Karma is brought down to 1 HP. Ari does not quite complete the kill. The burn might get her, while Ashe does kill the Ezreal with the Belveth. Belveth is going in deep, trying to push them away from the tower. That's going to be both the Nexus towers going down. San is trying to get in here to put down some CC. Lilia is also throwing E's, trying to get as much damage out as she can, but it's not enough, and that's going to be game number 1 going over to Elysium Terra. 23 minutes, a very well and beautifully played game. They were up 15k, and that's what we call a stomp.
ET is taking names, they are taking lives. They do not want to be taken lightly.
All right. Well, we're going to swing it off to a break while we prepare for game number 2 between Elysium Terra and BBC. Don't go anywhere.
We're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
All right, we are back with game number 2 draft between Elysium Terra and BBC. Game 1 went over to Elysium Terra in quite a stomping fashion. But what do you want to see changed here, Chicken, out of the side of BBC? How do you want to see them adapt?
Well, I mean, first of all, mentals need to be reset after that game. It's just a game. We can move past it. This is just another game, you know? End of the day doesn't matter. Let's get our mentals nice and fresh. Then, once that is done, let's change up the draft a little bit. Let's make sure we're not banning top laners after they've already chosen their top lane, you know? Let's make sure that we're playing champs that we can roam, help our jungle. Let's make sure we're getting that early vision to deny the early, like, Bel'Veth plays that were going on there. Like, you had 4 people up in the top side, but not a single ward. That was a little bit awkward, I think.
Yeah. That was quite tragic for the side of BBC. I do agree. They do need to get a nice mental reset. They had a little bit of a break here. Go into game number 2 with a fresh mind and definitely work on your vision game. That Bel'Veth should not be allowed to make those kind of plays. So right now we do have a Kinnan and Kai'Sa banned for BBC, and ET has opted to ban the Graves. Oh. Alright, actually we're going to have to swing it to a break. An emergency happened with ET's AD carry, so they're going to have to E-sub someone in. So we'll actually be right back, and we're going to get this all figured out.
Yo. Hello? How's that possible?
What's up?
Hey, I heard that there's a situation with one of the teams.
Yeah, ET, they have their AD carry has to sub out.
Mm-hmm. But it's with someone on their team, from my understanding. That's already on the roster.
Yeah, but they'll still lose a ban
Okay.
because it is a last minute sub.
Oh, well, it's someone on their roster in between games, right? So I said that they didn't have to lose a ban. So, if I'm understanding the situation correctly, right? They're in between games. They haven't started another game.
Yeah, but I thought if the if it's not how
it's in
they're
between games, if it's in between games, so it wouldn't be a last minute. If it's a last minute sub to someone that's not on the roster, that'd be an emergency sub. But if it's in between games, that's someone that's already on the roster.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right.
Okay, cool.
All right, I'll let the teams know. All right, we are back with a new draft link. A new draft has been set up. There was an emergency substitution for Elysium Terra. Their AD carry had a situation happening, so they have decided to bring Idris, another player on their roster, to fill in his space. Caleb, are you with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So we do have Kinnan banned for BBC, followed by a Graves ban. No ban loss is incurred because Idris is on the roster and it is between games. So other than that, though, the bans seem to be looking pretty standard. Do you think the new 80 carry is going to do anything with their synergy for ET, or do you think they're going to still be coming out just as strong?
I mean, it was the jungle in mid lane from the last in the last game. It wasn't really the ADC that went a little crazy. I saw a couple Ashe ults landed, but beyond that, it was mostly the Ahri and Bel'Veth. So if their game plan is still to just have a super fed jungle, I don't think it's gonna really affect much. But maybe with the new ADC, the ADC will go like 7-0.
Maybe,
you know?
maybe. We do have Rakan being banned by BBC, as well as a Xayah ban out of Elysium Terra. So we're about to see the first pick here. I'm kind of hoping for something like a strong jungler, something like a Jarvan, someone who's like very reliable. Because when the Leah does fall behind, like last game, it is very hard to actually play that champion. But they're hovering the Kha'Zix. Another champion, if he gets punished, not going to be doing a lot.
It depends on what build he goes. If he goes the Gore Drinker build, he's going to be doing just fine in the late game.
He has opted to lock in the Kha'Zix. It is being answered with an Ezreal hover. And an Ezreal is locked in, along with another Bel'Veth lock in. So once again, Furry Little Feet is looking to show his prowess at the champion, and is going to absolutely try to conquer the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, they're feeling confident. They can keep that vision game up, then it'll probably go just as well as it did last time.
Yeah.
Considering the amount of invades that she did.
If we do go by the lore, Bel'Veth does technically control all of the Void, so maybe she will be controlling this Kha'Zix and having him run into her for some free kills. Karma is picked up by BBC, taking that away from ET. The Ezreal at Karma lane is a very strong and safe lane. So they're just going to try to take that away. It's probably also a comfort pick for the Nim Kimchi. So good to see him back on that champion. And Aphelios is the AD carry answer into the Ezreal. If Aphelios can pop off, that can be very dangerous. But a Yuumi hover, notably Caleb's favorite champion in the whole world.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, and it is opted for a Blitzcrank. No Yumis today, okay?
Yumi's probably my second favorite champion in the world, Frostbyte. Bard will always be #1.
Bard is #1. Hey, Yuumi used to be your best
always. Yumi's still my most played.
Oh, is she? We do have a Jax ban coming out for ET, so luckily this time there's no way BBC can be banning top laners when a top laner's already locked in. So already looking up from what you wanted to see from them. We do have the Ahri ban. They're definitely respecting that Ahri potential. There was a lot of control that she was exerting over the Victor. So a nice respect ban coming out by BBC.
The Blitzcrank is a little scary for BBC considering the lack of mobility on their ADC.
Yeah, and with how well the Rakan played last game, I felt like he had a lot of good engages, good timings, and even good roams. So this Blitzcrank can be absolutely terrifying, especially for the low mobility like you said, but it's even worse for Aphelios because that champion, if he gets behind, he ain't doing squat.
Oh, that's most ADCs, so...
True. 80 carry dead roll.
He's definitely going to be relying on the crutch of the Karma move speed for that lane.
We do have a Malphite ban, along with an Azir ban to round out the banning phase for both teams. So they're putting a lot of respect on the control mages that BBC can pull out. We do have a Twisted Fate, so already you're looking at a very comp very good at moving for this Velvet. They're looking to try to punish this Kha'Zix as much as possible.
It worked for him last time.
That it did. It resulted in a pentakill for the Ahri because of the amount of control that they had in that game. Still insane to me that we had another pentakill in series
Let's
number
get
2.
another one.
Another
Let's
one.
get
Let's
another
make it
pentakill.
3. We do have Pantheon coming out. That could be a top Pantheon or a mid Pantheon. I don't know where I would want to see it. It'd be kind of weird to blind pick the Pantheon top. So I feel like that's going to be a Pantheon mid, but that does force BBC into a very heavy AD comp. They do need an AP top laner, or if that is a blind pick Pantheon, they do need to have a strong AP mid laner. And that is a Pantheon mid with a Scion being locked in for the final pick. The Scion did do very well last game, despite his team not doing so great. He did have a lot of control of the lane. He had some good proxies. But that does make BBC's comp basically all physical damage, not counting the karma, but it's just a support. So how much damage is she really going to do?
I am not a huge fan of the draft over there. I'm definitely liking ETs more.
Yeah, we do have a Camille answer into the Scion. That is, we're about to see a lot of Cho'Gath ultimates on a champion that isn't Cho'Gath.
Yeah, I love Cho'Gath ulti base kit.
And also the Camille synergy with the Twisted Fate. Once she gets that Hextech ultimatum, that Twisted Fate's curtain call is basically always going to be a dead Scion or whoever she decides to ult. So very dangerous comp being built for the ET. I'm definitely favoring ET's side of the drafts.
I'm
I just
gonna
hope
have to agree with you there.
I just hope we don't have another stomp like last game. I want some competition. I want to see BBC come alive and show their strengths.
One can only hope.
We are getting into the client drafts as we speak. So game number 2 is hopefully going to be on its way here pretty soon. Hopefully they go through these ban phases real fast, get us in there, get us that action that we so desperately crave. So we know what ET is trying to do. What do you think BBC is trying to do with this comp? What do you want to see them do to try to pull a lead over ET now that we have seen what both teams have drafted on? We already know that we need them to be moving for their jungler. We already know that they need to be getting that vision game so Beveth can't do what she wants. But what else do they need to do to make sure that their champions function at the highest capability that they can?
You know, I don't know if they can really do much to do that. I think they drafted the Pantheon to maybe compensate for the lack of roaming that they're gonna have for their jungle with the Pantheon ulti. But I mean, like, you drafted an Aphelios when you know that they like to invade the jungle. It's not the smartest move in the world doing that.
Was there something that you would have wanted to see instead of the Aphelios, like perhaps an Ashe?
I probably would have liked to see any ADC with any amount of mobility, probably.
So things like Lucian and
Yeah, Lucian, maybe like a Jinx probably would have been good here, I think.
all right.
With the ulti, you're pretty much able to help from anywhere. Ashe
Yeah.
also would have been okay, yeah.
I would have personally liked to see Ashe just because she does get that extra vision game with her hawk shot. She gets the ultimate for pick setup, and she's also not too bad into Ezreal because of her her W, allowing her to poke the Ezreal out while he's trying to catch farm with his Qs. But sadly, it's not what we're going to be seeing this game. We are going to be seeing the Aphelios Karma bot lane. We just have to hope for BBC's sake that this Blitzcrank can't land these Qs. Karma's going to be really on top of her game, given the speed boost at the right time, so Aphelios can get out of the way. Aphelios is probably going to end up taking exhaust this game. If he doesn't, I feel like he's a dead man every time he gets pulled.
I think even with exhaust, he's a dead man every time he gets pulled.
Very, very high likelihood. All right. Well, while we're loading into the rift, we're going to send it off to a break. We will see you guys once the game has started. Don't go anywhere.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Back from the dead.
We're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.
We're back from the dead. Back from the dead. Back from the dead.
All right, and here we are into game number 2, Elysium Terra versus the BBC. Caleb, are you ready?
Sure am.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. 11, 12, 13.
Yep.
All right. There was a slight pause. It wasn't that we didn't notice it on stream, luckily, and it was instantly unpaused, so that's good to know. We do have, once again, BBC here looking for a stack this time. They are pursuing a Blitzcrank invade, while Elysium Terra is actually invading the top side.
30 seconds
So
until
neither team will be
minions
running
spawn.
into each other, but once again, Elysium Terra is going to get some nice vision here, and it could be another potential early invade coming out by the Belveth. Nothing too crazy is happening right now. Good defensive wards by BBC and very good offensive wards by Elysium Terra. Belveth is opting to start a solo clear on the Raptors once again, but this time it looks like Sion is pathing into the jungle, potentially to get a ward for his jungler. So no crazy invades would be happening this game.
Oh, and the Belveth was spotted this time.
That is true. So a very good start by BBC. They're already adapting from what happened first game. So hopefully no crazy jungle gaps happen in the first 5 minutes of the game.
That would be nice to see. How do you feel about this bot lane matchup?
I think Ezreal and Blitzcrank are gonna roll these guys once Blitzcrank starts hitting some hooks. I will be right back though, so I'm gonna let you solo cast. Just give me like 3 minutes.
This guy. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Frostbyte hate stream. Today we're hate casting Frostbyte. Definitely, he's knowledgeable about this. I would never talk bad about him behind his back. This guy's a little stinker. He's a little toxic gamer when he's playing ADC. This top laner, he's dying, just like Frostbyte is IRL after I come at him with my fists. My fists and long fingernails. I'm gonna scratch him. His eyes. At his first blood. Heading over to the Belveth. Looking quite similar to last game. Belveth getting early kills, early money, getting that early lead.
Alright, I am back. I heard everything you said, you monster. So what happened? A gank happened in top side, Belveth got a kill.
Yep.
Crazy action already. Bad start for BBC. This Belveth already showed what she can do the first game.
Yeah, you definitely don't want her getting fed, but it seems to be unstoppable, unpreventable. This Belveth is a monster, a menace to society. She's getting fed no matter what you want to do.
Yeah, oh, Blitzcrank is looking for a hook. The hook does connect onto the Philios. Philios gets chunked by the W and E forward by the Ezreal. Ezreal does get exhausted, but gets the kill onto the Philios. And Karma's going to just get chased here. Does Blitzcrank hook about to be up? The knockup does connect. He's looking back for a hook. It might not have been off cooldown yet, but...
No amount of Karma speed will prevent an ADC from moving in a straight line to dodge a Blitzcrank hook. Am I right, Frostbyte?
Yeah, it is quite detrimental to be playing against that
I know
champion.
a lot of ADCs who move in a straight line to avoid a Blitzcrank hook. Frostbyte.
It is a mind game, alright. You have to take a gamble.
Oh, the mind game of walking straight, not
Yes.
even attempting to dodge Frostbyte. Yes.
Some people are overreactive to dodges, and walking straight can beat them sometimes. However,
And some people just want their supports to int and die, burn, crash and fire, burn.
okay. We have Belveth starting some cheeky invades, trying to get a camp lead. The Kha'Zix is a little bit up on the camp. The Kha'Zix does jump forward onto the Belveth. The Belveth drops the E to get that damage reduction before the Q can go through. And nothing to talk
Kha'Zix
about.
definitely should try and fight that a little more than he just did. It's not like the Twisted Fate's gonna get there anytime soon. And he's got the isolated Qs down. So, I mean, like, just commit to that and do a little bit of damage. See what you can do. Test your limits.
Yeah. But I mean, with this game being a potential loss for them, maybe testing your limits isn't what they're trying to do because they want to really bring this to game number 3.
I suppose, but maybe testing your limits is exactly what you need to do to secure the dub.
Very.
You're playing a champion like Kha'Zix. You're building AD over here. You're gonna want some more items to help you secure the win. Get the objectives. Do some bonus damage onto people like this Camille, which he does seem interested in ganking. But
Yeah.
he's gonna be spotted by some wards, so it's not gonna go that well.
Yeah, they do know where the Kha'Zix is. Ping's going down right on top of him. We have a very sizable CS lead in the mid lane starting to grow. He's already at 20 CS up. So, and along with Twisted Fate's passive, that CS gap is actually more than what it seems because he does get 1 to 6 gold randomly for killing minions. Pantheon ultimately going down on the backside. Pantheon does get the CC chain onto the Ezreal and secures a kill. Very well timed roam there. They were a little bit too far pushed up and couldn't really get away when Aphelios has that purple form.
If they wanted to, that should just be a free dragon.
It's
not looking like they're going to take advantage of the bot lead there.
Yeah, that's
Ezreal's going to get back in time. Bel'Veth's going to have time to roam down.
I mean, if you're Bel'Veth here, even if they do start this dragon, you're happy trading Herald for that. But they are going to start a gank onto the Scion. The Hextech ultimatum goes down on top of him. He can't walk away quite yet. He tries to ult away, hits the Bel'Veth. The Bel'Veth connects the knock-up. And this could be a dead Scion here. And that's going to be a kill going over to the
definitely a dead Scion. And they're still not starting the dragon.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a mismatch on timings. The resets weren't quite what they needed to do. And that's going to be a lot of tempo going over to Elysium Terra.
Yeah. Shouldn't have been that much. Got the Rift Herald coming up soon also. I'm thinking Bel'Veth's going to want to get that.
Yeah,
Head top lane, get a couple plates.
If they can explode this Camille lead into something even more, that's going to be very hard for Scion to play.
Oh yeah. Man, this TF is farming out of his mind compared to everybody else in this game.
Yeah, he almost has perfect CS. It's only a few off.
Mm-hmm.
We do have Kha'Zix and Pantheon and Scion starting this Herald. They were spotted by the Rift Scuttle though. Can they secure it while the Bel'Veth is sitting over the wall? She does have Flash. Kha'Zix and Pantheon are jumping over. Oh, Kha'Zix actually not jumping over, just Pantheon. This Bel'Veth is super low. She had to flash out. The Ignite goes down onto the Pantheon.
And she's dying.
And she dies to Pantheon, but while that was happening, Blitzcrank did hit a hook in the bottom lane to secure a kill onto the Karma. This Aphelios has to be very careful. Overall, I think that is worth for BBC. They're not going to let this Bel'Veth get the empowered ultimate form with that Herald, so very well played by them. And they did secure another kill onto this Pantheon, someone who can really get this game open with his ultimates.
Yeah, but it has famously been said that Pantheon starts falling off the moment the game starts. So, I mean, like, I don't really think it matters how big of a lead Pantheon's getting. He's going to fall off no matter what. So, even if he gets the, like...
And this Camille has to flash out away from the Scion, but the Kha'Zix is going to be able to complete the kill with a Q, and that's going to be a kill going over to Kha'Zix. Sorry there, I just did not think that that gank was going to actually play out that way.
Yeah.
They are starting this dragon for Elysium Terra. The bot lane is shoved in, so they're not going to be able to really move, and Kha'Zix isn't there, so this should be dragon going over to Elysium Terra for the first strike of the game.
Oh, but as I was saying, with a Pantheon on the enemy team, if he gets fed, all you gotta do is wait for like 20 minutes. And then suddenly he's not a champion anymore.
I don't know if it's that soon. Pantheon has been able to pop off in a lot of games, and especially if he does get some kills to start getting his items early, he can do a lot of work.
Yeah. One could say that he could be a champion late, but I mean, he'd have to have a significant gold lead for that to happen. He's gonna want to have to push his lead over here, rather than just taking all the kills for himself, you know? Instead of going bot lane and sniping a couple kills, maybe spoon feed a couple to your Aphelios. Here comes the airplane type beat.
Yeah. Both junglers are on the top side. It's going to be a clean 2v2 bot lane if anything does happen down there. Blitzcrank is still trying to look for those hooks. Camille's taking some rough trades right now. Sion does have the completed Sunfire cape, so his burn in those melees, matchups are going to be doing a lot. Crucially here, oh, Belveth is actually looking at a potential top lane gank. Camille does go in. She does have the Hextech ultimatum up. She has dropped it.
There's going to be an answer from the Kha'Zix.
Yep, there is a knockup, a double knockup by the Scion. Very well played. The Kha'Zix is looking in deep. The Pantheon comes there to follow. Does get one, and Pantheon flashes forward to get the stun onto the Belveth, and that's going to be another kill going over. Scion getting his first. So they're really keeping tabs. Really keeping tabs on this Belveth. Really keeping on their head. Keeping their head on a swivel, sorry.
It's going to be first tower going over to BBC.
Yeah, they do have the Herald here.
This game is looking a lot better than the first game was. I'll tell you that.
Oh, Karma does get hit by the Blitzcrank pool. Karma is dropping a W to try to root the Ezreal. True Shot Barrage does go wide with the Karma Flash, and the Exhaust is gone down. So both of Karma's summoner spells were used to stay alive.
So they didn't drop the Herald topside, and they didn't get the first turret.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a misplay. And now he's dropping Herald mid without the wave being there. So very interesting plays right now. Maybe they're just trying to maximize plate gold here, but I feel like first tower is always going to be worth, even if you don't get the full efficiency of the charge.
Yeah, probably.
Belveth is going in onto the Pantheon. The Pantheon went a little bit too deep though. The Cosmos is here to answer though. Can they make a play happen? A red card comes out, not quite the one that you want. The Belveth is going deep onto the Pantheon. The Pantheon lives with 1 HP. And this Herald is going to actually get no plates. The Belveth is going to be able to stop this. Ooh, and a snipe by the Twisted Fate onto the Kha'Zix. But first tower was taken by the Scion. Very well played there by Elysium Terra to turn that counter gank into something good for themselves.
I don't know if TF should ever be getting out-roamed as hard as he is right now, considering his ulti compared to Pantheon's. He's going to have a lot more range on that ulti.
Yeah, he did use it
he definitely...
somewhere. I don't know where he used it, though. It is on cooldown.
He might have used it to get back to lane, but I think he should be using that to match the Pantheon, because that Pantheon is getting a lot of pressure, getting a lot of damage off on the side lanes.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you want to do when you're playing Pantheon, because otherwise he's not doing anything.
Pantheon is here with the flank on the Blitzcrank. They do start the fight onto the Blitz. He is isolated right now to the Kha'Zix. There should be a kill going over, and that's Pantheon picking up another kill for himself. Oh.
Was it worth the ward,
Blitzcrank? Just walked right
really?
onto the Belveth. But he does jump away. They do start to fight onto the Twisted Fate. The Twisted Fate is getting out massive damage right now. The Pantheon is getting him super low. The Scion ulti does come out, connects onto the Belveth, and does get chain CC'd by the Scion Q. A flash forward by the Aphelios to get the slow onto the Twisted Fate. Can he get the root, though? He does not have the slow, though. But Scion is here super deep. Ezreal is just trying to get some hits in. Camille is here to get the possible kill onto the Aphelios. The kill does go over. Camille does get knocked up while the Ezreal does go back over, but he has to flash away to stay alive. Camille is stuck in her own ultimate and has to use her flash as well. This should be Dragon number 2 going over to BBC. The Blitzcrank is here, but crucially, the Belveth is not. They might be looking for a fight after the dragon is secured. He does not have smite. The dragon does get secured though, and Karma does die to the pool by the Blitzcrank. True Shot Barrage comes out, connects onto the Pantheon, but the Pantheon E does stop the damage. The Scion is super low and does die, along with the Pantheon being chased by the Twisted Fate. And that's going to be 2 kills for a dragon there. Oof,
Yeah, I don't know if that's worth it.
I mean, it
That's
does.
just a Hextech Drake.
It does stop the dragon stacking though, so that is delay onto the soul.
Yeah, but they're gonna get Herald off of that. Plus, they got more gold than BBC did.
Yeah, they already are growing to quite a substantial gold lead. They are about 4k up. Herald number 2 is going to be going over to the Belveth with her empowered ultimate form.
So maybe not as big of a jungle gap as last game, but Belveth, despite being a few kills behind, keeping up in the pressure with the Kazakhs,
Yeah.
keeping up a farm lead. They're doing what they need to do.
True Shot Barrage
Speaking
is
of
shot
farm
out by
lead,
the Ezreal. There's 4 top
you
lane.
got-
The
you
Blitzcrank
got-
flashes forward and does not connect the hook. But this is a dive onto the Pantheon. This tower is not going to be alive for much longer. The Pantheon has to flash away, while the Belveth is going onto the Karma and the Kazakhs, but she is all alone. She is isolated right now. She has to flash over the wall to get away. The Pantheon is a little bit in a dire spot and does get hooked and does die. They are looking for a continued chase here. Blitzcrank is using his empowered movement speed to go forward. Scion is trying to get stuck in a fight with Twisted Fate. He's trying to back to help his team, but Twisted Fate is not letting him do that. That's going to be another tower going down for Elysium Terra, or for BBC. The Herald is dropped. This could be
They actually
inhibitor
used
tower.
the Herald, already better than the other jungle.
Yep, Herald is going in. It does connect the charge, but no tower is going to fall to that charge.
Hey, at least they actually got a charge.
That is true. We do have a 5k gold lead right now. So we're looking at some item
I
completions.
definitely feel like most of that is on the TF. That guy is farming like a crazy man.
Yeah, Twisted Fate has completed his death cap. He opted to go for death cap second, so he's really looking for this high burst damage. Not the standard Lich Bane or Rapid Fire Cannon. So he's really looking to be the carry for this team and not really the setup.
I'm okay with that. I think that's a funny build.
Twisted Fate's burst is super high too with that build, so he's gonna be putting in work. I would like to see a rapid fire cannon at least come out of him though, because when you do have those kind of items, even once you get RFC, your pick and burst potential go way up. Yeah, Twisted Fate ult popping out onto the Scion. The Scion does ult up, but the Blitzcrank does manage to get in the way. So now Scion is stuck in a 4v1. Kha'Zix is here to try to aid him, but I don't think there's much he can do. Pantheon ults in as well. Kha'Zix is super low. Pantheon is looking to try to get a kill here. They jump onto the Blitzcrank, but does not connect the kill. Oh, a nice Ignite burn for the Pantheon, but the Pantheon does fall with the Scion to the Twisted Fate.
Scion lived for way too long.
Kha'Zix is going in, trying to get another trade kill, but dies to the Twisted Fate with the help of Belveth. And then you just have BBC's bot lane farming a lane with no tower. I don't really know if they were
5K
looking for a
gold
fight
lead.
there, but they are at a 5K.
I'm thinking it's gonna be a tower falling on the bot side too.
Yeah, Belveth is in position, so Ezreal's free to push here. He's not going to get flanked by anything crazy. There's a lot of good vision control coming out of Elysium Terra. They basically control the entire bot side of the map.
They're definitely gonna be looking for that Drake.
Ooh, we do have a Magi's coming out of the Twisted Fate. He has yet to die this game, so maybe we'll be seeing 25 stacks. Ezreal does get the back off. They do have the numbers advantage right now. They need to look for a play if they're looking for anything. A TP does come out by the Camille. Sion ults forward along with the Aphelios ultimate. They do root the Blitzcrank. The Blitzcrank is going to get chain CC'd by the Sion, and that's going to be one kill going over two. And then the fight is breaking out in a huge fashion right now. The Twisted Fate trying to get away, but dies to the Sion.
The Magi's Curse.
Yeah, the Magi's Curse. Camille does Hextech ultimatum forward, but dies to the Sion as well. A lot of shutdowns going over to Sion and Kha'Zix. It is now a 4v2. Overall, the trade has been a 3-for-1. Kha'Zix is getting poked by this Ezreal. They're trying to see if they can redeem this Dragon play. Bel'Veth is ready to go in. She dashes over the wall, hits a quadruple knockup, and ease forward to kill one, potentially two. Ezreal's there to complete the second kill. She ults and gets another kill with the Ezreal, and that's going to be a dead Sion. And that is a 2v4, ladies and gentlemen. Elysium Terra is absolutely tearing the Rift apart.
That was crazy.
They got to respect this Bel'Veth. This guy is obviously a great Bel'Veth player, and they know what they're doing with the champion. Ooh. Aphelios gets caught out by the W, ease forward, and dodges the last Q. Two-shot barrage going out, and it does connect, killing the Aphelios. Baron has been started. I don't think that they contest this. Aphelios is dead, and Kha'Zix just respawned. So this is going to be Baron going over to Elysium Terra with no contention.
They're going to try to contest it, maybe.
It's too late.
Not fast enough, but
they weren't there. They weren't able to get there fast enough. We're about to
dying
crest.
at unfortunate times.
Yeah, we're about to crest 10k gold lead. They're currently at a 9k. And when you see 10k gold leads, it's almost impossible to come back from those kind of games.
But it is possible.
But where are their openings? What do they need here? Aphelios has none of the kills. Pantheon and Kha'Zix have all of them. I just don't know if Pantheon and Kha'Zix are strong enough to quite frankly get through the amount of damage that ET can put down.
Well, first of all, they need to get more vision. They don't really have a lot of vision control. They need to be roaming into the jungles as 5, making sure that they're able to get that Karma in there, making sure that she can get the wards. And they need to stop randomly dying in the mid lane, Aphelios.
A flash forward by the Pantheon does connect the stun onto the Twisted Fate. Bel'Veth does go in deep to try to hit a knockup, but misses. Karma does die to the Ezreal, and Bel'Veth is getting her resets. She's going absolutely insane right now. She's on top of the Aphelios. The Pantheon holds in to try to get the Blitzcrank. The Blitzcrank does fall. It's right now a 4 for 2 or 4 for 1, and that's going to be an ace going over to ET. That should be the game-ending push right here. They have the Baron. They have the Bel'Veth in powered mode, and I believe that is the end of the game. Two shot going.
It's looking like it. I think Karma 1v4s here.
You think so in 5 seconds? That is going to be game number 2, going over to Elysium Terra. Very well played by them. They really showed their prowess. They really showed where they're strong at. Oh, they're trying to kill him, and they do get the kill in the tower with the double execute. And that is game number 2 and the series going over to Elysium Terra. Very well played. All right.
Yeah.
So who do you think? I know there was another pentakill coming out by the mid laner of Zui, but who do you think really earned that MVP title?
I mean, it's not the first pentakill, so like nothing special there. It's just a pentakill. So obviously we're gonna have to give it to the Bel'Veth. She kind of just like ran down every single fight.
Yeah, that is true. The Bel'Veth was quite insane. So we're going to pull her in for a nice little interview, talk about what they did, what their strengths were, and what they thought about the other team.
Ito.
That either Ito needs
Or
to drag
someone.
them in. I told them that just go to the general chat. I don't know what player their IGNs and their Discord names don't match up.
It's true.
All right, let's move up to the general voice chat so they know we're up there. All right, who's the Belveth player? Is it Ryan? Let me look this up. Let me see if I can find it. It is gonna be.
Welcome.
Hello.
Oh, they're in here. Oh, thank God. I don't have to go try to find them. All right, congratulations on your week 1 victory over BBC. How did you feel about those games? Were you surprised that they gave you the Belveth the second time after that absolutely domination of the jungle in the first game?
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised. I think especially with the Kha'Zix B1, Belveth is like kind of notorious at being good into Kha'Zix because your little E where you hit a bunch of times can hit him in invisibility. So it's usually kind of a good counter for Belveth. So I was a little surprised when the Kha'Zix B1 came out. Belveth was still up.
I was also surprised on top of that, on top of you being able to hit them in invisibility, they can't really get full potential out of that isolation damage just because you get a 70% damage reduction. A little overtuned in my opinion, but that's what Riot Games has decided to do with that champion. You played absolutely beautifully. The first game still sits in my mind. You knew exactly what that Lilia was trying to do every single point of that game, and you took so many camps with her. And as a result, I believe that you basically secured your mid laner another pentakill for BTL. How was your guys' comms going off during that pentakill?
I mean, we were all very excited. I died, so obviously I was pulling up the YouTube videos, but Izui was like, give me Penta, give me whatever. You know how mid laners are.
Yeah.
All selfish. It's fine.
How did you feel about
true.
How did you feel about how BBC was playing there? Did you feel like that they definitely, I would say, redeemed themselves in game number 2 despite them losing? They definitely reacted to your invades and what you were trying to do a lot better. How would you rate that their adaptiveness?
I definitely think like they're pretty solid. I think it's weird to me that they seem to focus a lot around like making sure their bot lane has resources. Like they picked the Scion both games, but their top laner is like one of their highest ranks on his OPGG. All the champs he's playing are like bruisery type champions like Darius, Camille, Jax, and it like seems like they kind of neutered this guy by putting on Scion both games. And then your bot lane is kind of your lowest ranked duo. I feel like you just probably shouldn't be playing so hard around them, like giving them Ezreal Karma, Aphelios Karma, and then just trying to make the game almost around them with the Pantheon pick, moving to sides and stuff. Yeah. I feel like I would have liked to. We were expecting them to come into it and draft really strong top jungle mid and just try to play for skirmishes and snowball the game out of control, and that's didn't really seem to be what their read was.
Okay. Caleb, do you have any questions for our guest?
Yeah, the Pantheon was looking a little scary in the early game, as Pantheons normally do. What were your thoughts and feelings with that guy running amok all over the map?
I think it would have been like really scary, but I think their draft was pretty bad. They're all AD. Aphelios used to be really, really good, I think, in all AD comps because he could have like the % armor pin. But since they switched to lethality, I mean, I was like, to be honest, guys, as long as I get Gorgink or Death Stance, like they're not gonna be able to kill anyone, and we'll just win the game. It was just, to me, I just felt like it was a ticking time bomb. A Pantheon would have to be ridiculously fed to win that game.
Yeah, I do agree with you there.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We were saying a little bit of a draft gap.
Do you have any more questions for him?
I don't. Congratulations on your 2-0 wins, my guy.
Do you have any shout-outs you want to give before we cut the stream loose?
Yeah, shout out to my boy Zooey, Pentakill. You're welcome, by the way. Shout out to Caleb, org owner of Elysium. Definitely the best guy ever. Last thing I'm going to say, furry little feet, stomping on all these junglers easily. Have a good day, everybody.
All right. Thank you for joining us. And thank you to everyone for watching BTL and giving us your continued support. We will catch you guys later today for the matchup between Lexi's Rat Emporium and Dynasty Sapphire. It starts at 9 p.m. EST, and we will be ready to see you guys there.
Here we go.